Hi there, welcome back to the Community of Readers video blog. We're following the Old Testament readings for the Monkey Bar Challenge, and this week we're looking at the second half of the book of Daniel. This is called Keeping Faith. With Daniel chapters 7 to 12, we have to move forward at breakneck speed to an age unknown to the Babylonian governor. This is an age of uncertainty and the birthplace for what has become one of the most creative forms of literature ever penned, Jewish apocalyptic. It's 300 years since the account of the man Daniel in the court of Nebuchadnezzar. Israel is in a difficult place. The promises of the prophets have not materialized. Where is the Zion, the empire of Yahweh? Where is the new world order? Back in the lands of Judea, the people of Israel wait. And all around the cities of the Fertile Crescent, they wait for the day in which they would be vindicated. And into this devoted malaise festers hope. Red raw from rehearsal, desperate to perform. Yahweh will have his kingdom. The people of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob will not be abandoned. There is still hope, but from where the people do not know. But then the ancient words of Daniel appear. Chapter 12, verse 9, closed up and sealed until the time of the end, whose power has now been unleashed on this moment in history. The last 300 years were not subject to chance or failure, says Daniel. They were known by Yahweh. He had the thing in the bag all along. Empires would come and go, but the problem was the recalcitrant hosts, those heavenly powers that hammer out the course of humanity. Michael and Gabriel, the archangels, have been fighting on Israel's behalf, but other forces have held them at bay. The Prince of Persia, but one of them. This is an account that gives Israel a reason, that makes sense of the situation. Yahweh has known all along that his forces outside their control that are holding back their destiny. Daniel's dreams are specific, from a specific time. Firstly, the Babylonians would fall and then would come the Persians. Then the Persians would fall to the Greeks. And after the death of Alexander the Great, the Greek dynasty would fall into four, the four winds of heaven in chapter 11 verse 4 and 8:22. And the Seleucid dynasty would rule the part of Judea in which the Jews lived. And under the reign of Antiochus IV Epiphanes, the abomination that causes desolation, the altar to a pagan god on which he sacrificed unclean pigs, will be set up in the heart of the temple itself. Imagine yourself living under the intense persecution of this Greek-Syrian dictator. Your people are repressed, and the most sacred of your religious rights are being threatened, and there seems to be no logic to Yahweh's abandonment. And then, out of the depths of time comes this scroll, this this promise from years before, kept secret until now, that Yahweh knew all along. He has not let you slip his mind. And then enters chapter 12, verses 1 to 3. At that time, everyone whose name is found written in the book will be delivered. Multitudes who sleep in the dust of the earth will awake, some to everlasting life, others to shame and everlasting contempt. Those who are wise will shine like the brightness of the heavens, those who lead many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. Vindicated. Though we suffer now, we will see justice. This is the genius of apocalyptic literature. For a Jewish age increasingly uncertain and increasingly despondent with the perpetual occupation of their land, Daniel gives them hope. Theological creativity was imperative if they were to reimagine faith for the future. To keep faith in a God who'd apparently just abandoned them. With Daniel, Israel has a theology that explains that abandonment. It was the result of evil forces beyond their perception, not the fickle will of Yahweh, and it promises a triumph and a justification very soon. Now, the Christian apocalyptic tradition finds its zenith from Daniel in the revelation to John at Patmos. And there's something eerily perceptive about describing world-lusting superpowers as beasts with teeth and horns. Apocalyptic images somehow capture the fears of a world bathed in greed and dressed subtly in hate. But apocalyptic visions are just one arrow in a quiverful of ways in which we respond desperately to try and reason with the way things are. Was blaming the delay of the kingdom of God on unseen evil powers really astute? Or was there actually something wrong with Israel's expectations? I mean, they dreamed so certainly that the kingdom of God was coming in a political form and that land given on promise, and yet when Jesus comes along, that dream is something he utterly refigures. It's hard to make sense of the world we inhabit. Sometimes we have to adjust our expectations. And for these Jews, that was something they were ill prepared to do. The apocalyptic Daniel stirs around in the depths of our deepest questioning, trying to salvage some kind of hope in the face of suffering. To reject his creative attempts is to miss the point. The despairing search for faith will continue. Without creativity for the future, we will have no faith at all.